Join us as we explore the farmers market
and show you how to make that perfect family barbecue.
Thanks for joining us for this month's episode of the Country Cottage.
Well, Brittany, you know, summer, when I think of summer, I think of grilling.
Yes, me too, and fresh produce. And we've got a show full of fresh produce, grilling, recipe ideas, things to really make sure that you have a superb family barbecue picnic this summer.
That's right, and we always want you to be safe. And so we're going to talk a little bit about safety today, food temperature, food safety, and grill safety. And so this will get you ready to have that great end of summer party.
Well, before we get started at the grill and in the kitchen, we first need to go to the market and we need to pick up some produce. So let's go. We're at one of Bowling Green's fine farmers markets where produce is in abundance, flowers are ready to purchase and display, and tons of canned and preserved items are ready to pop open and enjoy with your family all day, all summer long.
All summer long, Brittany. And every Tuesday, Thursday, and Saturday, there's a farmers market available for you to bring your entire family out and see what's available at the farmers market, what's in season at that time, or like you talked about, some dried herb products, some jams, jellies, honeys, all kinds of stuff that would work great in your summer menu.
You could almost do your entire grocery shopping at one of the markets, and they're almost open every single day, considering we have 3 in Bowling Green. So I've got a long list of items I'd like to purchase today, and the first item I'd like to get started with is a watermelon.
Because Brittany, nothing says summer like watermelon.
We have a great recipe coming up later in the show that uses watermelons and tomatoes and tons of the items that you see around us today. But this recipe, it's essential to have a sweet and a refreshing watermelon. And Joanna's going to show us a little bit about how to pick out a good watermelon. We need a superstar watermelon for this recipe.
I know, Brittany, and there are so many to choose from, and it's hard to go wrong. But some of the things that we look for when we're choosing a watermelon is we want to, when we pick it up, we want to see this kind of yellow creamy side to the watermelon, because that means it's been ripened in the field, and when it lays down, the sunlight can't get to it. So we're going to have this little yellow creamy spot on the melon.
Normally people would go to the grocery and they want to find the prettiest one, and that would have been me if you hadn't told me that. So we're looking for one that has this kind of spot on it.
Right, you don't want it all green like that. And Brittany, they've been raised in a field, so they're going to have some scratches, some imperfections on that, and that's okay. But when we pick that up, we want it to be heavier than it looks. If it's lighter, then that might not be the melon for us. And you know, Brittany, my father always said you go in there and you give that watermelon a good tap to see if that sound is there. And we want a nice sharp sound so that we know that watermelon's ripe. And so those 3 things, and look and make sure that stem is nice and dried up and it hasn't been picked green. And this is another one. And see here, Brittany, we have that same spot. And so it looks like any of these melons would be a great melon for that recipe.
So even though they've got blemishes on them, that's okay. That doesn't affect the taste of the watermelon whatsoever. In fact, it's probably shown it's been in the field a little longer and it's going to be even sweeter, even better.
That's right. And we've had a lot of rain this season, so some of our melons aren't as sweet this year, but they are still excellent to eat and very refreshing.
Well, I'm excited to get home and try one of these.
All right, well, we found one of the customers at the farmers market, Daphne Fulcher, owner of Sweet Temptations in Fairview Plaza.
Yes, ma'am. Good morning. How are you all?
I'm good. Now, Daphne, I saw you over there picking out some tomatoes.
Yes, we have our homemade chicken salad and our homemade tuna stuffed into tomatoes this time of year, and everybody loves it. So, and I love homegrown tomatoes.
Homegrown tomatoes are the best.
Yes.
Now, why do you come to farmers market to purchase?
Well, more than anything, I know it's fresh, and I support the community in that way.
All right, well, I know that all the stuff you make out there is delicious, and I would encourage everybody to go out and try some of these tuna and chicken salad stuffed tomatoes, because they are bought right here at the farmers market. Thanks, Daphne, for your support.
Have a blessed day.
We're visiting with a farmers market vendor, Alex Daniel with Summer Garden Memories. Thanks for letting us come out and talk with you this morning. So what can people expect when they come and they visit the farmers market?
Right now, the farmers market's really, corn is really producing really good. You can find anything from peaches to cream, Silver Queen, Incredible. Local field-grown tomatoes are really producing good. Green beans, peas, lots of yellow squash, green zucchini, onions, potatoes, just bunch.
Just a little bit of everything.
Everything. Summer, the middle of summer is usually the busiest when everything's coming in.
So everybody needs to come out because you can find, I mean, there's even rhubarb here.
Rhubarb is actually all summer long. It's weird. Up north, it's only like a month or two. In Bowling Green in Kentucky, it's from the beginning of summer to the end.
So you can enjoy rhubarb pie all year round. Now I saw some zucchini pineapple muffins. That's interesting.
That is one of our most popular muffins. My aunt makes them. She sells from 200 to 300 muffins on Saturdays. It's our busiest day.
All right, so baked goods, fresh produce, and even some jams, jellies, and honey.
Yes, she does a lot of the jams, and we try to make sure we buy all local. And we'll have local honey out here starting next Tuesday, actually.
Okay, so when can people come out to the market?
We're here every Tuesday, Thursday, and Saturday. We don't have a set hours, but usually we tell people between 2 or 6 in the morning to about 2 in the afternoon. So usually people can get from before work or after like lunch break.
So come out here and see. I mean, you guys have an awesome display out here, and it has dried apples to tomatoes, peaches, everything.
Just a little bit of everything.
All right, well, I know it's hard work, and I appreciate that. So thanks for visiting with us today, and make sure you come out and support our local farmers at the farmers market. Remember, anytime you need fresh produce or jams and jellies, come out and support your local farmers at your farmers market.
We have our basket full of fresh produce. We're ready for a healthy week. Let's get back and show you all one of my favorite healthy summertime recipes.
Well, we went to the farmer's market and we picked out the perfect watermelon.
Yes.
Now, Brittany, I would just slice this up and eat it, but I know that you're going to show us some tricks to make this really cute for our barbecue.
There's several ways, and it can be a little overwhelming with a huge watermelon like this. And you know, how do you get the perfect pieces? How do you create it so that it looks good, you know, it looks pretty. So I'm going to show you 2 ways. And first of all, I'm going to just slice the watermelon in half.
Okay.
And the first way, I'm going to flip this side over. I'm just going to set this side to the side over there. And we're going to start by cutting slices across.
Okay.
Just like this. Now this technique I'm showing you would be perfect for children or a toddler, you know, that's maybe just beginning to eat food, you know, people food, or, you know, regular food.
That's right.
Then I'm going to turn it.
Okay.
And I'm going to cut it again the exact same way.
Okay, and you know, watermelon's always one of those favorite snacks at picnics and barbecues, but it's also good for you.
It is. It's super healthy. There's so much water content in it that it's really great to kind of replenish when it's so hot outside. You're spending a lot of time outdoors. It's a great snack to enjoy. So this is the first way I'm going to show you. This you can just pass out to your toddler and they can eat on it just like this.
Popsicle
just like a popsicle. So you have very little waste because you can eat all the way down to the rind and toss it and you're ready to go. So isn't that adorable and perfect? And really it'd be a great way that you could showcase watermelon on a barbecue or a pick-out. You know, you could arrange it in a way just like that.
Yeah, very picnic friendly. You can just kind of pick it up and go.
That's right. And now I want to move this to the side because I want to show you really quick one other really great way. If you could do that. Again, I'm going to lay it on its flat side. And what I'm going to do, I'm going to first of all cut the tip of it off. Be really careful. Make sure that you have the watermelon secure. It's completely dry. You want to wash it before you get going, but make sure it's dry. And then what you're going to do is you're just going to shave away the watermelon rind, just like this. And again, this is a great way to make sure that you don't have a lot of extra waste. When you just cut the watermelon in half and you go to town with a spoon and maybe people will scrape it out, you have a lot of the waste because water will sit in the bottom of the watermelon and you actually can't get all the way down.
Right, and if you are into making watermelon rind pickles, this is a great way to get your watermelon rind right off. And so you can even use the rind in some other recipes.
Yes. Definitely a great way to utilize the entire watermelon and get the most for your money. Okay, so go around, make sure that you have all of the white pretty much gone because as we know, that's not the sweetest part of the watermelon. Okay, so now what I'm going to do, just like the first technique I showed you, we're just going to cut just like this. And we're going to lay those over on their side. And we're going to give them a cut like this. And then you can just turn it and cut perfect little 1-inch squares.
And then you can just serve these as the 1-inch squares.
That's exactly right. And this is perfect just for the Kentucky Proud plated up recipe we're going to show you later on in the segment. We're looking for for perfect little cubes, and this would be a great way for a salad, so that way everything is uniform and you're getting a little bit of bite with everything.
Yeah, and it's much safer this way than if you were to take each slice and try to cut it off, and it's way more uniform. So I think this is a great tip, Brittany.
This watermelon looks delicious, so I can't wait to mix it in with our tomatoes and some of our other ingredients and really bring out some of those natural flavors.
It's a very interesting recipe,
It is.
so let's get started with it.
A refreshing, fresh produce salad is needed at every family barbecue, and this is one of the Kentucky Proud plated up newest recipes. It's a tomato and watermelon salad.
Now, Brittany, when I think of a salad, I usually don't put tomatoes and watermelon together.
I know, but this recipe, you're going to be a little surprised, and you may have snarled your nose if you're watching at home, but it is absolutely delicious, and honestly, I snarled my nose at the first time too. But I always try everything once, and when I did, I fell in love. It was so delicious.
Okay, so how do we make this salad?
Let's get started. If you will measure out about approximately 5 cups of cubed watermelon.
All right.
I'm over here we need 2 tablespoons of extra virgin olive oil. And we need 1/4 cup of red wine vinegar.
Vinegar, so that's going to give it a little bit of a tang.
It is. It's going to bring out a lot of the natural flavors. It's also going to make it more of a savory salad rather than a sweet salad. Okay, so we're going to mix in our 1/4 cup with red wine vinegar with the olive oil. And then I'm also going to do a little bit of salt and pepper. And you can kind of just do that to your liking.
And so this is sort of the dressing that's going to go over this salad, right? Okay.
And as I was this, Joanna, if you will add 3 cups of diced tomatoes.
Okay.
And this is the perfect time to do this salad, actually, because both tomatoes and watermelon are in peak season. They're very inexpensive at this time, and you can get them at their absolute best taste.
That's right. So this is going to be packed full of flavor and also nutrition.
We're going to add 1 small red onion that I've quartered and then thinly sliced.
Okay.
And if you'll give that a quick toss.
And these flavors, I mean, it's already smelling good, Brittany.
It is. It really is. And the longer that this salad marinates and refrigerates, if you'll do it 30 minutes before your party, it will have the best flavor.
So it'll give those flavors time to marry and
right. Now I'm going to pour a dressing over top of it. And if you will just continue to combine those. Okay.
And so this is pretty healthy since it doesn't have any mayonnaise or anything like that, and it's also probably pretty safe as far as picnics go.
It is. It is. And a lot of people at your picnic they're going to be surprised by using these items, but it's a great way to add a low calorie dish with some definitely healthy nutrients.
And this is a nice way to plate this dish up as well. You have the lettuce leaves in the bottom of this flower-shaped bowl. I mean, that's just going to look attractive. If you're eating with your eyes, you're going to want to try this salad.
It does, and the lettuce leaf adds a bit of a pop of color, really brings out, and it makes it more appealing. Anybody's going to want to eat anything that is appealing to them. Children, people of all ages are going to be enticed by just the plating of the recipe.
Now, Brittany, can they pick this recipe up at the Extension office?
Most definitely. You can check out our Facebook page, Living Well in Warren County. It's in an album called the Kentucky Proud Plated Up Recipes. You can find it there. You can stop by our office and visit us. If you want to call us, we'd be glad to mail it to you.
All right. Well, it sounds good, and I definitely want to get a try.
Yes, we're going to taste it a little bit later. We're first going to go out, and we're going to talk about grilling safety, and we're going to whip up a couple quick.
One of my favorite parts. Let's go grill.
We've moved outside, and we're going to whip up some meat in a little bit. But first of all, you're going to show us how we can grill safely.
That's right, Brittany. We want to make sure that our grill's in proper working order, that you've read your manual, and that we don't have anything really flammable nearby, because we can get those sparks and those flames. But a lot of this starts in the inside of our grill, because we want to make sure that our grease traps are empty, that our grill grates are clean. And this grill grate is pretty clean, but if it wasn't, if you didn't have a scrubbing brush, you can just take some aluminum foil. And you just kind of want to wad it up a little bit, and then you take your tongs and grab a hold of it, and you just brush it against the grill grate, and it kind of just gets all that off.
Now, let me ask you a silly question.
Okay.
Does this need to be hot when you do this, or you don't want it to be hot?
No, you don't want it to be hot, because it does when it softens some of the things up on the grill if you get it hot, but you run the risk of burning your arms with a flare up or if the wind comes through, so you don't want to do that. You can do this cold. And so you just kind of scrape your grill grate, And the cleaner your grill grates are, and if it's at the right temperature, you're going to get those nice sear marks that everybody wants on their meat.
Yes.
And so this is a simple way, instead of investing in an expensive brush, that you can clean your grill grates. And the other thing is we want to make sure that they're well seasoned and they have oil on them. And you know, a lot of people want to take that aerosol spray and spray it, and that's fine if the grill is off. But if you want to do something maybe a little bit less expensive and just as good, you can take some paper towels, and we want to make sure that when we do start the grill up, we get the paper towels away from the grill. But just for this, we can take it and dip it in some vegetable oil. And then we take it and do about the same thing that we did with our aluminum foil. But do you see how we're getting good coverage on our grill grates? And so that's going to allow the meat not to stick, and that we're going to get those nice whole pieces of meat with those nice sear marks.
Now, is this something you should do every single time you grill, or is this just kind of an every once in a while type thing?
No, it depends on how often you grill, Brittany, but you want to make sure you can definitely tell a difference from where we've oiled from where we've not oiled, and this is going to extend the life of your grill as well if you keep your grill well maintained. And also it's going to give you a better quality meat product in a lot of cases, especially if you're doing something like a fruit or a vegetable like peaches. If you're grilling peaches, we want to make sure that we get all that flesh on our plate, not left on our grill.
Right.
And so this is very important to do that. And so we're just going to throw away our paper towel, get the grill lit, and we're going to get started.
Perfect. We've got the grill fired up and we're getting ready for our family style barbecue, Joanna. What are we going to do next? I see you've got some hamburgers over here, and how do we really just get started on the grill? Okay, so we want to make sure that our grill is nice and hot, medium to high heat. We don't want to cook it too fast because of flare-ups and things like that. And so we have the grill now about 350, medium to high heat. And so we're going to go ahead and open that up, and you can kind of see that it's nice and warm in there. But Brittany, it's very important that you have the correct utensils, okay? Tools are very important. Those guys don't have all their barbecue and stuff out there just for looks. It is very, very functional, okay? And so I always like to have a clean pair of tongs and then a tong that I'm going to use for the raw meat. Okay, because once we put the raw meat on there, I want to go ahead and get rid of my raw tongs as well as my raw plate, because what we just don't want to cross-contaminate. When that meat is nice and finished, we want to put it on a clean plate. So we have some clean plates on the other
over
side.
here. Now the other thing is we want to get it to the proper temperature. And Brittany, there's several different tools depending on what your preference is. We have a digital thermometer that you can use, and then I'll show you how to take a temperature with that. But my personal favorite utensil on the grill is this thermometer. And Brittany, you know, sometimes a lot of people, they might say, well, you know, I don't really like a pork chop because they're dry. And the main reason they're dry is because you didn't cook them to the proper temperature. But this way is kind of a way you can cheat.
This looks awfully fancy, Joanna.
It is, but it's less than $20. Okay, and I have two versions, this version and then the little bit more Cadillac version. Okay, this one you can tell what type of meat that you're cooking, and it'll give you a little notice when it's halfway done.
No way.
Oh yeah, and then when it's about 5 degrees off, and so it'll alert you, and it knows already the proper minimum temperatures that you need to cook your meat to. This one you just have to basically watch. You can set it as minutes or seconds or temperature, but it'll show you that temperature while that burger or while that piece of meat is cooking. So you're going to need to keep an eye on it. You do, but you will always know, Brittany, what temperature your meat is. Okay, so this is very important because it'll give us that flavorful hamburger. Or this, I have a seasoned chicken breast, and you know, a lot of people want to do marinades, dry rubs, sauces, glazes, those kind of things, and those are great, but just remember that they might cause some flare-ups because we're adding usually some sugar, some acid to this heat, and sometimes it will make that flare up. And so, but this chicken breast will need to be cooked to 160 degrees internal temperature. So we want to make sure of that. And then this hamburger as well, Brittany, about 160 degrees internal temperature for that. Okay. And so for my hamburger, I also don't want to cross-contaminate. If you're cooking fish, chicken, pork, beef, you want to use different utensils for each one of those. Yeah, usually I put them on a separate plate, but for this, they were not touching. So we have them. And this is 90-10, so this is ground sirloin. So this is not very fatty. You won't have a lot of grease from these particular hamburgers. And so you're not going to see those flare-ups like you might with some 73-27 ground beef or 70-30 ground beef. So a lot of people, once they get this on here, they want to squish their hamburger and play with it. We don't want any of that. We want to contain all the juices.
All the tastiness.
That's right, inside the hamburger. So we don't want to do any of that. And as you can see, with that 90-10, we don't have any juices on our plate. Okay, and so all that is contained in there. And so we want to take our tongs that we used our chicken, And you just take this thermometer and you want to stick it in the thickest point of this chicken breast. And you just stick it in there in the middle, make sure it doesn't come outside.
Okay.
And then you just turn on your timer, close the grill.
With it in there?
With it in there. And
Wow.
then you always know what temperature it's
So you're not
be.
constantly opening, letting out the heat.
Exactly.
And, really slowing down the process.
Right, and so all those flavors are going to capture, you're going to have nice moisture, because the worst thing we can do is come out here and check on it, okay? We want to make sure that we get good sear on each side, turn our hamburgers one time before we take them off. And we don't want to play with our chicken either. We want to kind of leave it there. Once that gets about halfway through, take it, turn it, and then once they're completed, we want to get our clean tongs and get them and put them on our clean plate and take them inside. Now, steaks are a little bit different, Brittany. I'm going to go ahead and close this grill and go ahead and let it get started grilling our nice barbecue meats here. We're going to throw some hot dogs on a little bit later, but for steak, since it's not a ground product, about 145 for medium rare is the proper temperature for that. And then your chops, your roast, any type of whole meat product, 145 if you like it medium rare. If you don't like as much pink, you can cook it a little bit longer. Just know that that's going to take away some of your tenderness and some of your moisture in your meats. But any ground product, we usually like to get to 160 at least. And then we want to take that off, put it on our plate, and we want to let it rest, okay? Because that temperature is going to remain
constant. You can't just dig right in?
No, let your meat rest a little bit. It's going to cut better, it's going to eat better, and also it maintains that constant temperature. And so if there are any little bacteria hanging out, they're going to kill them, okay? And so we're going to get that constant temperature, and you're going to have a safe barbecue. Now, one thing, Brittany, is we don't want to leave it out in the sun all day long, though. Once we have it cooked, that's not the end. We want to get it out, serve that product, and if we're not going to serve it immediately, we want to make sure that it either stays at a proper temperature or we put it in the refrigerator, because food safety is very important, and you're more likely to get food poisoning than the flu. And so,
especially this time of the year, people wonder what's going on. I think I've got a 24-hour virus, but a lot of times, if you've been to a barbecue and you've kind of, mosey through the line of food, people often will get foodborne illness without even knowing.
That's exactly right. And meat usually gets the black eye for that, but a lot of times it's in our salads, our lettuce, our things like that. And so as long as you cook this to the proper temperature, we're going to have a fun, delicious barbecue.
Well, I think we're ready. I mean, we're almost ready. We're going to finish this up. We're going to let it rest for a few minutes. We've got our Kentucky Proud salad in the refrigerator marinating, and we're almost ready to enjoy our delicious, fresh, healthy meal.
I'm ready.
What a delicious day we've had exploring the farmer's market, utilizing some of the season's most favorite items, and I'm ready to dig in.
I am too, Brittany. We've been slaving over the grill and have these great fresh recipes with these local foods. It's going to be delicious.
It is going to be delicious. Catch us on August 14th. We have a new program, or a program going on at the Extension office. Fresh ideas with fresh tomatoes. I'm actually going to make this recipe, so if you're a little hesitant on whether you'd like to invest your time into it, come to our program and taste it for yourself. And we're also going to sample other tomatoes and other Kentucky Proud recipes as well.
Sounds like a great day. Now, the next day, on August the 15th, the Kentucky State Fair starts, and you can go up there and experience a lot of great activities, and for the entire family. You can go see the livestock, the great entries, the produce entries, the 4-H, Cloverville will be there as well, and also a lot of great chef demonstrations. So check out the schedule. Concerts. Brittany, the Kentucky State Fair is for everybody.
It's a place to make memories, definitely.
It is. The 15th through the 25th. Come and celebrate Kentucky with us at the State Fair. Also, just a reminder that we will be closed at the Warren County Extension office on September the 2nd in honor of Labor Day, and so we won't be there that day. But if you need anything, make sure to give us a call, and we'd be happy to help. All right?
For any further information on any of the areas we discussed today, we'd love to be able to send you or meet with you and discuss some of those with you. But we look forward to seeing you next month on the Country Cottage. Thanks for watching.